For us lot, the Top Gear generation, the Bugatti Veyron is the hero car. Since 2005, nothing has created the same impact as when the Veyron came on the scene. Clarkson, Hammond and May, a Truffle and a Cessna 182. And take a look at this example we have here today. It looks every bit the part. But what if I was to say it was for sale, but not for the usual 1 million, 1.5 million quid, but for 150 grand? The truth is, this thing is a complete fraud. It's a replica. But my mission today is to find out, is it a good one? Is this thing worth 150 grand? There are some truly shocking replicas out there, usually people trying to imitate Ferraris, but some Cobra and C-Type Jag replicas can be phenomenal. So does this thing pass the test? Would you be enticed by a replica Veyron? First things first, I expected to come in today and see some horrible Civic-based thing that just looked atrocious, like what Tavares had on his channel.
This is based on the pinnacle of automotive performance perfection.
But this thing, I'm really impressed by it. If you stay even just a couple of yards away, it looks exactly like a Bugatti Veyron. There are a few things once you get up really close, and we'll get to them in a bit. But let's start with the positives. The dimensions are pretty much there. It's really impressive. The body is made of GRP, glass reinforced plastic, so there's no carbon fibre anywhere. But all the shapes, nearly all of the radiuses, are pretty much there. My favourite feature on a Veyron are these buttress intakes. I think they look phenomenal. And, you know, it's got the mesh in there, it moulds into the bodywork exactly how it should. The petrol cap here has got the Bugatti emblem. The intakes look correct. The roof line. On the surface of things, it's a Bugatti Veyron. It's not, but it is. Today's video is sponsored by our good friends at Carly. I would hate to think what a Carly device would find in a vehicle like the fake Bugatti. It is an OBD2 plugin that can tell you everything about your car, and it's ridiculously easy to use. You just plug it into your OBD2 port, connect up to it via Bluetooth, and you're in. This handsome E92 M3 is owned by cameraman Tom, who's behind camera right now. Let's see what it's got to say for itself. One of the worst parts of car ownership is stumbling upon a whole load of unexpected costs. They can make you want to just list your car up on Facebook Marketplace at a really low price and just get rid of it. We've all been there. By using a Carly device, you can regularly keep track of any issues that arise with your car and potentially stop a breakdown from happening altogether. I've realised over the years working on cars, preventative maintenance is key. So let's see what this M3 is saying. After a quick scan, Carly has come up with 13 issues and has described the car as very bad. I think that's not really a surprise for something with an S65 or S85 engine that I'm used to. Let's have a look at the issues. There's amber in engine, and yeah, we've got 3 codes in here, 3 warning codes. Now, one is for the coolant thermostat. That has apparently failed. And what you do is you can go into Enter Smart Mechanic, and then the Carly mechanics will tell you what they think's gone wrong and what you should do to prevent it. This issue is not critical yet. Make sure to basically get it fixed in the near future. Preventative maintenance. By doing checks like this regularly, you can keep on top of your car and wash away the anxiety of any unexpected breakdowns, even in a car as sensitive as a BMW with an S65 V8 engine. Tom, I'll leave this in the car for you.
Click the link in the description below and use the code DRIVETRIBE24 to get 15% off your Carly adapter. Thank you to Carly for sponsoring today's video.
Arguably the most impressive piece on this car is the engine bay. I think a lot of people, if they created a replica Bugatti, they would just have a glass cover there or even black this bit out to disguise what engine is underneath. But the people that built this car have gone to another level. They 3D scanned a real Veyron and then 3D printed that scan. So you have what here looks visually exactly like a Veyron 16.4. You've got either side of the engine there, all the bolts look correct. If you give it a tap, yes, it's all pretty cheap plastic, but visually, it's all there. Super impressive. Also at the rear, we have the active aero. It's not active on this car, it's static, but again, looks the part. And in there, we've got chicken wire that stops stuff getting into the engine bay. That is the same on a real Veyron, but I've been told that the fitment and quality of the chicken wire in this car is actually better than on a real Veyron. So there you go, an upgrade. What do you guys reckon is down in there though? What do you think is powering this Veyron? I think you'll be quite surprised. You may expect the engine in this to be something like a 1.8 from a TT, but no, that there is a 4.2 litre twin turbo V8 from a Gen 1 Audi RS6. So this is putting out around 450 brake horsepower. And considering this is going to weigh a lot less than an original Veyron, those things are like 2 tons, a bit over 2 tons, this isn't going to be slow. A big advantage of this whole car, but especially that engine, is the maintenance that goes into a real Veyron. It has been well documented that to maintain a Veyron over a year, you're talking 30 grand plus because of all the bespoke bits that are included in that 8 litre W16 that has 4 turbochargers. I remember watching MTV Cribs as a kid, and T-Pain, you could see the sadness in his face about how much it cost to maintain his Veyron. I think he owned it for a really short period of time, so he could say he owned a Bugatti, but then got shot because the prices were just astronomical.
I got rid of that shit, man. Ridiculous.
This car doesn't have 10 radiators. I think it only has the usual 3 heat exchangers. So if something goes wrong, it's just an Audi RS6 part number, which will be, I imagine, a factor of 10, if not more, cheaper. When you look at a replica car, you almost certainly look for what is underneath it. You're thinking, is that an MR2? Is it a Boxster? This car is neither of those. It is a unique space frame. You can actually see some of it here. There's a bar there and there's a much thicker one down there. The engine is sitting in a bespoke cradle, but another word for bespoke is handmade, and that can go either way. I reckon a couple of welds on this car. I can see a couple of them from here. They're looking pretty beefy. I'm sure it's solid, but yeah, don't go looking for Bugatti quality. What about the bad points on this car then? Let's start at the rear. The curve of this rear arch definitely doesn't quite work. The exhaust isn't quite correct. They've had a good go, but not quite there. The rear diffuser cutout doesn't seem right. And then you can see a big anti-roll bar poking out from underneath the car. You do not get that on a real Veyron. The front has slightly too much curve to it, and I'm not sure about the scale of the famous Bugatti front grille. I have been told, however, there is one genuine Veyron piece on this car, and I'm going to give you 5 seconds to tell me in the comments what you think that is. Correct! It's the windscreen. It's got a crack over there, so what has apparently happened is it cracked and the Veyron owner wanted a new one, so this became a spare and it's gone on to this replica. There are 2 or 3 things that are super expensive and complicated when it comes to building a car, and they are getting the windscreen right, getting the windscreen wiper right, and the headlights. The headlights are okay, I'd give them a C-, but this windscreen and that windscreen wiper, they look fully legit. So there you go, proper Veyron windscreen.
Hey, it's me again. How sick is that Bugatti, by the way? If you want to see more DriveTribe content, we started a second channel called More DriveTribe. The latest video we've put up there is a behind-the-scenes look of our trip to the Isle of Arran in Richard's Subaru Martin. It was an amazing trip. So if you want to see that content and subscribe to our second channel, click the link in the description below. Bye!
Let's take a look inside. First things first, there is no door handle. It's a bit TVR to get in. There's a button right here. There it is. The place that almost always lets down a replica car is the interior, and sadly it's kind of no different here. Just lots of different plastics. All a bit scratchy. I don't know what a Bugatti Veyron steering wheel actually looks like, but that emblem is enormous. The binnacle, I imagine, is all Audi. I know definitely these stocks are, and this is definitely the Volkswagen Audi automatic selector here. You do not have that in a Veyron. The seats are pretty good. I don't know what these are from. Maybe a Porsche or something? They're comfy. They move. Yeah, let's not get into a crash in this car. Let's take this one easy. Yeah, it's that sort of, there's lots of that leatherette plastic everywhere. It looks the part. I can't say it feels the part. But again, 1/10 of the price of a normal Bugatti Veyron. I think it's okay. Let's take it for a spin. When I choose to drive Bugatti Veyrons, real or not, I choose days when it's so stormy that the storm has a name. Welcome everyone to Storm Kieran. It's been really bad, there's been loads of flooding. The perfect time to take your Bugatti out. I've had numerous van drivers coming past, either giving it horns thinking, oh my god, I've just seen a Veyron, but also guys looking saying, what utter has chosen today to take out his Bugatti Veyron? Me. Coming into today, I thought this would be a real life test of something called the Truffade Adder. Now, you guys that play GTA might have an idea what that is. It's kind of the Grand Theft Auto version of a Veyron. It looked kind of right, and it's quick. Looks wise, this thing blows the Truffade out of the water. Driving wise, this is kind of what I imagine a real life GTA car to feel like. A bit sketchy.
I'm told this creation took some blokes 7 years to build at a cost of £350,000. That is pure dedication to a full Bugatti lifestyle, which has to be respected.
One thing this car definitely could do with more of is sound deadening. I can hear everything going on, more so than in any other car I've driven, even something like a Morgan. We're going through some quite sizable puddles, and it honestly sounds like the water is just entering the cabin and sloshing about. It's so loud. Your view out of this car is quite compromised. I've got a huge blind spot by this A-pillar, a huge blind spot by that A-pillar. The mirrors aren't up to much, and the windscreen, despite being genuine Veyron, is very, very narrow. And when it steams up, because you're driving in a storm, you basically go blind.
That is one of the key factors in why this Veyron looks so convincing. Our eyes use a car's windscreen as one of the best ways to gauge the rest of the dimensions to make the rest of the car make sense in our brains. It's why some race cars trick you into thinking they are bigger than they really are. So by this replica having an OG Veyron screen, it helps the rest of the car make sense to the human brain, discounting the odd little slip-up.
Let's give it a beat. Okay, yeah, that's where the word sketchy comes to mind. The whole car seems to kind of rise up and move around on its four corners. It's not stable whatsoever. It's fun though, it is fun. Driving this car would put a massive smile on your face. It's not Veyron quick, but I would say it's E46 M3 quick? It should be quicker with the power and the proposed weight of this thing, but this automatic gearbox really slugs things down. If this thing was a manual, it would be an absolute weapon. Someone out there who makes replica Bugattis put a manual in a car with this engine. Okay, that's enough of that. It makes very similar noises to a Veyron, and I can understand why. A V8 is really a denominator of a W16, and having 2 turbos, well, that's a factor of 4 turbos. So you have that guttural V8 sound that doubles up the W16, and you have your twin turbo sound, that real strong whooshing that doubles up with the quad turbos. There are a lot of Veyron noises coming from behind me right now, and it is so cool. This thing may be as fake as your nan's iPod that she got from Vietnam, but I'm having so much fun in it. I don't know about you guys, but if I was to pick one hypercar, it would be the Veyron. You can keep your P1, 918, LaFerrari, any of the new stuff, the Valkyrie, T50. It's Veyron for me. Even a Chiron just doesn't quite do it. To me, it's just nowhere near as legendary as a car that looks like this, but with the W16 in the back. If I was to pick my Veyron, this spec is really nice, but I would go for something a bit more casual. I think the initial press pics had a much more chill spec, which was sort of dark blue and black. That's what I would go for. And nothing too special, no super sport or grand sport or any of that. I would go for a simple 16.4, the original Veyron, the original king. Does it do 250 miles an hour? No. Does it have a top speed mode operated by a key that lowers the car down and gets rid of the active aero? No. But does everyone that drives past think you're in a real Bugatti Veyron? Yes, from what I've experienced today, 100%. And maybe that is what this car is all about. It does sound good, and it goes. How much more go do you want than this? 450 brake. Who needs more than that? Yes, it's half what's in a Veyron, but that thing's just silly, really.